Saving for retirement. In economics, we like to start with the simplest possible model of reality and then build complexity as necessary. So let's begin by just considering a single individual who is going to retire at age 67, since polls suggest that 67 is now the average age at which Americans expect to retire. Let's suppose this person is going to start working at age 25. And to keep it as simple as possible, imagine that this is a world where there is no social security system, or even a government. He will then retire on his 67th birthday, which means he'll have worked for 42 years. Then he'll subsist in retirement for an additional 20 years and die at age 87. Imagine yourself in the shoes of this person. This is of course a simplified setting, and there are lots of complications that we could add, but we can still learn a lot from the basic framework. To attach some numbers, suppose this person starts their working career earning a salary of $50,000 during the year that he is 25. Now, I need to assume something about how that salary is going to grow over time. So let's assume it grows with inflation plus 1% real growth in purchasing power. Consumer price inflation was 1.7% in the year 2012. So to use a round number, I'm going to start out by assuming that inflation will be 2% per year, so that total annual salary growth will be 3% per year. By age 66, this individual is earning around $168,000, and after his 67th birthday, there are no more earnings. There are many savings rules you can put into this setup, and you can play around with them and see how your investments would grow. For example, here's what happens if you contribute a fixed amount of $2,000 per year. At the end of the first year, you have $2,000 in your account. At the end of the second year, you have the $2,000 you set aside in 2013, plus the $20 in interest earned on that money, plus the additional $2,000 you contribute in the second year. Continuing on like this, and earning compound interest, you'd end up with around $104,000 in your account at the end of the year you're age 66, that is, on your 67th birthday. It could certainly be tough to make that money last for the 20 years of your retirement. Or here's what happens if you contribute 10% of your paycheck each year. You'd end up with around $485,000 in your account on your 67th birthday. That's much better, but if you think about it, that still might be hard to make last for 20 years. In the last year of your career, you just enjoyed spending around $151,000. And you can calculate that under our modest 2% inflation assumption, stuff would cost 2.25 times in 42 years what it does today. With only $485,000, you'll clearly have to cut back on your spending in retirement rather substantially. Now, what if you increase the share of income that you have saved? That will proportionally increase your balance at retirement. So doubling your contribution rate to 20% of income will leave you with $971,000 at age 67. Perhaps now we're getting close to a balance you could imagine working with. But at the same time, goods and services at that point cost 2.25 times what they do today, and you need to make your money last for 20 years. When you consider that you were spending $134,000 in the year before retirement, you'll almost certainly have to cut back. So, what have we learned about saving for retirement? 3 things. First, it sounds obvious, but holding other things fixed, the more you save, the more you have in retirement. Second, when your income is growing, strategies in which you contribute a fixed share of your income, as opposed to a fixed amount, will allow your contributions to grow as you get close to retirement. Third, with a working life of around 40 years and low interest rates, you have to take on a fairly aggressive saving strategy to get up to an account balance that might provide a reasonable foundation for retirement. Even then, your ultimate purchasing power depends a lot on how much inflation has eaten away the value of your savings.